Très bien, donc nous sommes avec Kirk de Crowbar pour une petite interview avant ce concert à Romans. Donc un concert que beaucoup de personnes attendent et on est assez chanceux d'avoir pendant quelques minutes Kirk avec nous pour nous parler un peu de Crowbar et dans l'ensemble un petit peu de la musique et de sa carrière en général, puisque c'est quand même une carrière assez imposante et un groupe mythique. So Kirk, thanks to be with us on this web TV, web interview. We're going to play a little mind game, if it's okay with you. I got a special power. I can go back in the past and be wherever I want and do whatever I want. So I want to share with you this special gift, and I'm gonna ask you some question about it.
Okay.
So first question, you can write only one album in all music history. Which one will it be?
Probably Queen: A Night at the Opera.
It's a great one, yeah.
Yeah.
Why this one in particular?
I just think it's one of the best albums, in history of music. I listen to all styles of music, and I'm a huge Queen fan.
Yeah, you buy it when it.
It's one of those very top few albums of all time. I mean, the Queen, A Night at the Opera, Fleetwood Mac Rumors, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. It's those types of records.
Okay.
To me that are.
It's all about your memories from when you
yeah,
start to
maybe
listen
like
music
Led Zeppelin 4,
Yeah.
It's hard.
Okay, you're a huge fan of 70s music.
Oh, yeah.
I saw a Thin Lizzy tattoo.
Oh yeah, I got them all.
Iron Maiden, yeah.
UFO, Motorhead, Rose Tattoo. I
70s
lose
music
count.
is great.
Yeah, I'm a walking billboard. So.
Yeah.
70s and new wave of British heavy metal are my favorite styles.
For your latest album, this one is called Black.
Symmetry and Black.
Symmetry in Black. Sorry.
Oh, no problem.
Can you explain just a little the meaning of the title of your latest album?
Well, we have a song. We already knew that we wanted. I'm like, look, this is our 25th anniversary. We're fucking Crowbar. We're heavy as all hell, and we don't have a black album cover. And the last album cover was really kind of vibrant and bright and kind of, something different than we've ever had. And it worked at that time. But I said, you know what, I want to make this one really simple and to the point. Let's have a simple black, album cover, just simple. Let the music do the talking, nothing fancy, Excuse me. And we had a song, Symmetry in White, and I was looking for a title, and I'm flipping through the notebook of all the lyrics, and I'm looking through all the lyrics because I'm thinking maybe even one line of a song, lyrical, could be a good title for the record. And then when I saw Symmetry in White, I flipped the page and looked at it and I said, why not Symmetry in Black? So to us, excuse me, got a cold, been traveling a lot. And we played outside in Sweden in the rain 3 nights ago, and it was cold. But so to us, it just means, it's symmetry in the song Symmetry in White, it means perfection in white. So to us, it's like perfection or, in darkness or doom or, whatever,
Okay, great. What was the easiest thing? Writing a new album with Crowbar or being in tour with Down?
The easiest thing, writing I guess right now I'm with Crowbar just because I'm the,
You're the
boss.
only one involved. Yeah.
It just, the whole thing with me and Down was more or less after I got married and family became so important, it really got to be where I gave myself anxiety because I couldn't control my life. I couldn't spend, enough time at home or whatever. It's like as soon as I'd get off of a Down tour, I'd try to squeeze in something with Crowbar. I'd try to squeeze in Kingdom of Sorrow or whatever. And it just got to be too much. And, at that point, we both agreed, the guys and me, to just, hey, the best thing to do is for me to get my shit together, do my thing, and let them keep rolling along, So there's no hard feelings at all, In fact, I helped Bobby Landgraf, the guy who took my place, who's in a killer band called Honky also. He's an amazing guitar player. And me and him got together, and went over stuff and kind of, a couple of questions he had. We videotaped it, on his phone and whatever. And if I told him he got any questions, the first show he played with him, I texted him that evening and I said, kick ass tonight, brother, love you. And he's like, oh my God, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It means a lot. So, it's I'm happier now and they're happier now, and that's good.
everything is
but I
yeah.
still love them all. So, and I always will.
And Crowbar is like your baby, so you can quit like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, it seems like in recent years, not just Crowbar, but I Hate God, for instance, too. You know, it seems like, you know, there's been a lot more interest in like the NOLA scene. Obviously, Down is the biggest band of the NOLA scene. But I mean, for Crowbar, it's like, wow, we're actually
put
way
the spotlight on all this scene.
yeah,
so,
and which is really good because we all three, and this was not planned, believe me. In fact, Crowbar and I God's records came out the same day, and then Down came out only 2 weeks previous. So we didn't plan that, but all the magazines wanted to do coverage on the NOLA scene, so it really helped us all out, which was a great thing for us, for all the bands.
A big moment for
Absolutely,
all this
yeah,
band,
for everybody. You know, so but yeah, everything's cool with everything. You know, I'm happy because now I feel that I'm in control of my life. I mean, I'm the boss, so to speak, and you know, I'm able to do the family stuff when I like. Now I get to decide when I tour, where I tour, how long I tour, you know, how I tour, whatever, and my wife does merchandise for us and tours with me when I do, so
everything is
yeah. That way, just having Crowbar was just kind of like, whew, you know, because I can come over for 3 weeks or a month or whatever, and she'll be with me. But then if we get home and we have 4, 5, 6 weeks off, we can do family stuff with the kids and grandbaby and all that kind of thing. So for me, I'm 49 years old now, and it was just it got to be where it was a big turning point in my life, and I just did what I felt,
good.
It was,
good for you.
like I say, it was a mutual thing, and it was obvious that this decision needed to be made for me, for them, and for everything. So so it's like I say, no hard feelings,
No
love
feelings,
them always, and
it's great when it's like this. So if you can be part of any other band in music history, which one would it be?
That'd be a tough one. Either Motorhead or Thin Lizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Thin Lizzy had a lot of guitar players. Not that I could play like those guys, but then again, Motorhead has had a couple, and they had Wurzel for a while too as a double guitarist. So, like when I was young, I used to always think that to myself. I'm like, the only band I would ever quit, which I knew would never happen, but I would think in my mind, I'm like, the only band I would ever quit to join would be Motorhead, but Thin Lizzy as well.
And when you were younger, do
Yeah.
you think I got to make a band like Motorhead or like Thin Lizzy? It was like something that push you.
Yeah,
to make music?
I just think like, you either, number one, you have to be good at what you do. By no means am I the greatest singer or guitar player or anything, but it's about determination and desire and focus and there's times along my career that I've lost focus. I've never lost desire or determination, but I've lost focus, and but I don't regret anything. But I always knew, like, what I did was I was already registered to go to college, to the university and everything. And I thought about it, and I said, you know what? I want to play music. And if I don't give it a shot now, I will hate myself. I will regret it for the rest of my life. Because if I go be a regular guy, regular job, go to college, and then I'm 30-something years old, and I'm like, fuck, I wish I would have tried music. This sucks. It's like I can always stop and go get a regular job if I wanted, but I'm not going to stop. But you can't do the opposite. So that made me, to me, I thought in my head, I'm past the point of no return. I'm on an island by myself. I've got to do this, no matter what it takes, no matter how hard it is, no matter what I've got to do.
It's for life.
Yes, this is it.
So it has been 25 years since you began with Crowbar. Or what would you expect Crowbar to be in 25 years?
Well, we'll be lucky to be alive. In 25 more years. I'll be 74, which is my dad's age, and he's alive, which is great.
Yeah.
But I can't see. I'm going to do it like Lemmy said. He goes, I've seen retirement. It's not pretty. And they're like, how long do you plan on playing? He goes, as long as I can physically do it, I'm going to do it. And I know they've played recently a little bit, and he's done a lot to change his. Like completely change his life around, get his health together so he can still continue to perform, because that's all he knows how to do. Let's face it, and he could quit today and say that's a wrap, and he's going to be an icon and a legend, and and one of my favorite, biggest inspirations of in my life, and me and a million other guys. But as long as you can physically, I even saw a thing with Roger Daltrey from The Who.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of The Who also. And it was, they said, how long do you and Pete Townsend continue, because they're the only two living members, to do this? He said, as long as we can do it without without embarrassing ourselves, we will continue to do it because we still enjoy it.
Yeah.
And obviously, they still make a fuckload of money.
So
but
such a part of your life you can quit
yeah,
like this,
it's just like, I mean, if you're not, if you're not capable of do it with an A game, with at the top level, it's okay. I think when you get a lot older, I mean, guys like B.B. King, Jesus, he's probably almost 90. He still plays. Of course, he sits down. He's an old man. He's been touring since he's a kid. But I mean, he still plays and does it. And people understand that. But as long as you can do it, and still kick ass, then I want to do it. Forever.
Reminds me of Johnny Winter.
Yeah.
1 year ago, and still on stage. It's difficult, but still on
no,
stage.
actually, that was my daughter's first concert. It was a festival in New Orleans, and they brought a chair out for him, and he sat down because he really can't see anymore. He's pretty much almost blind, and but he still played, great, and his band was great, and I respect him for doing it. He still did what he's been doing since he's a little kid,
So again, if you can go back in time, which song would you like to have written?
I guess "Stairway to Heaven" because it was one of the most played songs of all time on the radio. So of course I love it. Oh, it's a little burned out these days. I think it came out when I was 6. I was about 6 years old when it came out. So I mean, I've loved it since then. It's a little burned out, but the royalty checks that Jimmy Page and Robert Plant got from that
is good too.
Yeah, it's good to have. So I'll go with "Stairway to Heaven."
Okay. On your latest album, which lyrics or which title are the most representative of your current state of mind?
Maybe "Walk with Knowledge Wisely," the first track, which is really it's not about me. Some of it is, but it's about life. It's about learning from your mistakes. Not to quote Philip, learn from my mistakes, but it's about learning from your mistakes, trying not to repeat them again, and just with the knowledge that you do learn through life, because regardless of what people say, you do get wiser as you grow older. So, it's about taking what you learn and being smart with it and using it to your advantage to make you a better person and help you get through life, because it's not easy. I mean, we all have, I mean, right now everything's great, but we all have ups and downs. So.
Is there a band that you've never seen in live performance and that you'd like to see in concert?
That would be Thin Lizzy, which is impossible because of Philip Lynott. But yeah, I mean, I've had the pleasure of even playing with Motorhead, quite a few times, and seen Kiss a million times. Never saw Zeppelin. That's something like them too, but or Queen for that matter. But Thin Lizzy, of the bands that I really, really, really love, Thin Lizzy's one. That
one inspiration for the melodic parts of two guitars that you are.
That's the main inspiration. Is like instead of doing guitar solos, we do pretty harmonies.
Yeah.
In fact, the middle section of Reflection of Deceit, I think it's track 4 on the new record, is a total. To me, I'm like, okay, I'm going to write a Thin Lizzy part. Like the bass line and everything goes along with, like I wrote the 3 harmonies, like to make it. It's a very Thin Lizzy. So that's where I get the harmonies, because they're beautiful, but they're also melancholy. It's like they're sad but beautiful at the same time. And that's emotion, and that's what I love in music. To me, any music that lacks emotion is artificial and not real.
Not valuable. So.
Yeah, whether it's aggression, whether it's sadness, even happiness, whatever, dancing, anything, as long as it's emotion and it moves you in a certain way or changes your life. A lot of, music changes people's lives. So, that's cool.
And Thin Lizzy is good at this, Oh, yeah. How do you manage your life on the road after all this time? You still enjoy it the same way?
I've always enjoyed performing. I've always enjoyed once you get to the venue, like, look, we're here, everything's set to roll. From here till I go to sleep tonight, it's great. When I wake up early in the morning to get in the van and drive again, like today with the traffic, took us 10 hours in the van, so that's not fun. I mean, you can't. It's like taking a fucking international flight or something. I mean, that's, that part. The traveling part, like I heard Kerry King say something a couple of years ago about that. He's like, and me and Phil used to talk about that. He's like, a couple of years ago, me and him was saying that. He's like, dude, if you could, he goes, I can't stand the traveling anymore. I said, me either. He goes, if you could zap me on stage every fucking night, I'd play every day of the year. I said, me too. And I feel that way. I do. If I could be zapped from my house, have a couple of fucking beers, get on stage, jam for an hour and whatever it is, and then zap back home, I'd do it every day of my life because I love it. But the travel, after all of these years, I've been playing music live for 34 years now. Not traveling, of course, locally, starting out as a kid, but so that's a long time, so traveling, you can have it. It sucks. It's the bad part of it.
And you can use this time to do something productive, something positive. You can write, you can read or know.
Really, we try to rest. I mean, it sounds, stupid because believe me, we don't really party much at all anymore, at all. And I mean, it's it's just I don't care like who you are. Like our bass player, I don't even think he had a beer the whole tour yet. It's hard on your body traveling. And he's a lot younger than me. He's like 16 years younger than me. Jeff is. And it's just you sleep, you get as much rest as you can because in all honesty, it's like you got to think of it, and I try to think of it this way. And for a time, I probably lost focus of thinking of it this way. But the people that bought tickets to come see this, some of those people, we're their favorite band. Right. And they've been waiting since the day they heard about the show to see you. Right. You want to, like, you rest, you try. I sing, I'm doing 19 shows in a row. I like to play every day. And that means when I wake up in the morning, I know I have a responsibility that day that keeps me out of trouble. Yeah. That's good. It's good for me. Yeah. It's good Not for everyone, but for me. So the main thing is just trying to stay healthy, trying to get as much rest as possible so that you can give the best performance, each night. Because, I mean, for me, it's like seeing, like people like, wow, it must be so great to travel. Well, you really don't get to see that much. Yeah. But when I was younger, I've been coming, this is my 37th time to Europe and or the UK, and because I did the math about 5 years ago and kept adding each time I came over. So since 1992. So I've seen everything. I mean, and it's weird because as many times as I've been to, say, Paris, for instance, I only one time went to the Eiffel Tower. I'd see it and go, oh, there it is. Oh, cool. Take a picture, Because,
not taking the time to...
But we had an off day, and then Pepper Keenan lived in Paris for like a year or something with his mother when he was a teenager. And he's like, come on, let's not sit around the bus all day and do nothing. He's like, let's fucking go do something, see some shit. So we took the metro to Notre Dame Cathedral right near there and walked there. And then we'd stop and get like one beer, like seriously, one beer. Went to the Louvre, stopped, got a beer somewhere near, walked from there down to the Arc de Triomphe, got a beer, went to the Eiffel Tower, and then we went and had a few beers after and caught the metro back, and it was a full day, but it was great. We got that was like my biggest sightseeing thing. I'm like, well, Jesus, I've been to Paris, 15 times or whatever, and I've never been to the fucking Eiffel Tower. So, but when you're younger, even though most of the time the younger bands party a lot more because you can kind of shake it off. As you get older, it gets harder. But when I was younger, I mean, we'd walk around all day, every day because it was all new and wow, we were exploring the world, But when you've done it a lot of times, you still appreciate it. But it's like,
not the same way.
Yeah, I'm more interested in getting the rest I need and trying to take care of my voice and doing business and whatever,
Which singer that you want to start singing back in the days when you began Crowbar?
Actually, I never wanted to sing. That's the truth. My very first band was called Charisma after the Kiss song off the Dynasty record. So we were like 14, 15 years old, something like that. And the first song, that we learned was Surrender by Cheap Trick. Yeah. And a couple of us tried to sing, and everybody said, you actually sounded pretty good, man. You want to be the singer? And I said, sure. I said, I'll do it, And that's actually helped me be able to sing and play, because a lot of the stuff, even though Crowbar's not a real technical band, a lot of the stuff is all over the fretboard, and a lot of the vocal patterns I do go totally against what it doesn't just follow the chords. It's the opposite. And it's called independence, like with a drummer, when you have the independence between the four limbs. Yeah. But for me, it came naturally because I started playing guitar at 13, but just fucking around on it, But when I started my first, quote-unquote band, I immediately started singing and playing at the same time. So as I learned a song, I learned them together, exactly. So it made it, for me, it was a good choice to help me be able to play and sing at the same time.
Okay. Do you take more pleasure singing and writing melodic parts for Crowbar because the harmony seems to be very important of some of your work with Crowbar?
Because what seems to be...
It seems very important, the harmonies in your latest work. And do you take more pleasure singing and writing this type of harmonies?
Yeah, I do, both vocally and... especially vocally now, and musically, like we discussed earlier with the Thin Lizzy guitar parts. It's like, for me, with the new record, the older I get, as I was saying, I love playing live, and I always will. The older I get, I think I enjoy the creative process of writing, recording, and having like one riff, and then
expand it.
All of a sudden, you write off of it, you build on it, and then wow, at the end, once it's all signed, sealed, delivered, and you have the full record. Yeah. It's amazing, because it's like, okay, here's this record, and I'm very proud of, and I love, and it didn't exist, 2 months ago, or whatever, So, and it's there forever now.
The creation aspect.
Exactly. So the creative part of it, to me, and the studio part, I've really gotten to enjoy. I mean, I could stay in the studio from noon to midnight every day, just with Crowbar doing. Yeah.
If you could be anywhere at any time, what would be your choice? Could be now. It could be back in history.
Like right this moment.
Yeah.
I'd be right where I am.
Okay. You're good where you are.
Absolutely.
According to you, what was the feature of Nora scene 25 years ago? Is it still current in New Orleans nowadays?
Back then it was kind of weird, because everybody knew each other, and most of us, as y'all know, have played with one another at one time or the other, in a different band or in and out of band. Jimmy Bauer was in and out of Crowbar 3 times, and whatever. So it was a really just kind of, it was weird, I guess. Because we all kind of knew each other, we're all going to the same shows, we're all listening to the same types of music. It makes all the bands from the NOLA scene back then, we have something in common, but we don't sound like each other, which is a great thing. Yeah. But to be honest, nowadays I don't know what's going on. I'm too busy at home. At home, I'm just dad, husband, grandpa, whatever. Going to the grocery store, paying bills.
You're not in this.
So I don't get out. I'm not
so
really familiar with any of the newer bands.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what we created back. The originals, even like the Graveyard Rodeos, Soylent Green, even bands like Stress Ball that weren't really known were part of it. Obviously, Crowbar and I Hate God and Down, of course. Yeah. But what all of our bands created is something special, obviously, because we're talking about it 25 years later. So we're all very proud of that.
It's like the start of an old scene from these three bands. It's very particular. It's very specific.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you. It was the last question. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you very much to answer my questions.
You bet.
And have a good show tonight.
I will. Thank you.
And enjoy your tour in Europe.
We sure will. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.